I'm in the process of making this kite, my Badger 24. This is a kite with a 24-inch long bow, and it's going to be, I'm going to use it in light wind. So I'm using a 0.05 inch diameter carbon fiber rod for the bow, which is about the same as a 1.3 millimeter diameter carbon. You can see the dimensions here if you want to make the same kite. Just copy them down and draw out the plan. It's pretty simple. Now I make the plan, the template here, with a hem for the bow. I rarely use this hem, but I cut the template out with it in case I do want it. And the reason I don't use the hem is that I use glue exclusively to bond the sail to the bow. And in this case, I am using a piece of 0.5 millimeter, half a millimeter diameter carbon fiber rod along the nose leading edge of the kite. And for the bow, the 0.05 inch diameter bow, I glue it too. I glued this on and I glue this on. I do it before I cut the sail out. It's like this. This is how it was. And where I'm going to melt holes through the sail, I put a small piece of tape there to reinforce it, even though the melting does actually give a little reinforcement to the edges of the hole. I prefer tape to give it even more strength because where the bridle lines go through, um, if they happen to rub a little bit, it could easily tear the polyfilm. The polyfilm is very, very thin and easily torn if it's sawed back and forth with a strong tension line like a bridle. And so I put the tape here for the lower bridle, and I put it up here for the upper bridle connection points, and I put it here at the cross of the spine and the bow because I'm going to tie those together. I'm going to melt holes and tie that together. Many kite makers do not tie it together, and their kites fly great. I do tie mine. So when I make this kite, I just laid this material out on my cutting mat, smoothed it out, put masking tape, as you can see, little pieces of it all over to hold it in its smooth position. And then I build the kite onto the sail, just like this. And you can see I traced around my template, and here is the hem for the bow, which I'm not going to use. I didn't use it over here. I use glue. I use this glue, T8000, but any contact cement like Weldwood works great too. So when I cut it, I use the, in this case, 0.5 millimeter diameter carbon fiber rod as my guide. So, but I line it up with straight edge because I don't want to accidentally, because that carbon is so thin, I don't want to accidentally cut it with a knife. So I use this ruler to help so that I do not actually accidentally cut into the carbon fiber itself, which would be easy to do. And so then I just remove the polyfilm that I cut away. And my kite is finished. no hem here, just glue. And when I use the glue, I'm terrible at it. I'm quite sloppy with the glue. And as you can see here with the battens, where I glued the battens, and battens are optional. You don't need to use them, but I like it because they add a great deal to the silence of the kite and therefore increase its forward speed a little bit also. But when I'm flying the kite, I really enjoy flying it more when it's silent. Now, a lot of people like the noise of the kite. And at one time I did too, but I don't any longer. So then comes to the bow. I can't use the straight edge because, well, it's not straight. So I just put my fingers here to secure it, and then I run my knife right along the edge of the bow on the outer edge. And because I'm a little sloppy with the glue, sometimes my knife does not cut through the glue in the first pass. So I have to come back and do it again sometimes in parts of it. Let's see how we did here on this one. Oh, it came out okay. So here I have, again, no hem, just the glue. And I have made many kites, maybe 30 kites with this technique. And one of them, I had a failure along the bow and the sail bonding. And it wasn't because the glue failed, it was because I failed to put glue in parts of the bow line there that I drew. And so when I put the bow on, it had no glue. So, but I didn't see it until I was flying the kite. And then, of course, it's a little too late. And then the rest of the kite, I just use the straight edge to cut it. Now you can use any sharp knife. You can use a scalpel like this. These are available in different shaped blades and all sorts of things. But I like a utility knife. It's not the sharpest, an X-Acto knife is probably sharper, but it seems to do the job, and it's quite durable. So I use the ruler here on the straight portions. So it's quite simple. And maybe I'll do it with it on the flat part. I put my knife against the end of the bow and space the ruler so that the knife goes between the ruler and the end tip of the bow, and the same here with the spine. So it's one easy, smooth cut. And there's my finished kite. No bridle and no tension line yet, obviously. The tension line I'm going to make and I'm going to attach it to the spine here where I marked it, and here near the wingtip line. To do it though, I'm going to use my little miniature Dremel tool to drill holes directly through the carbon fiber here and here to thread my line through, rather than melting a hole in the sail like I do with the bridles. And so then it's just a matter of, there's the kite. And this technique of putting out the sail material first and not cutting the sail out first, I have discovered for me makes it easier and quicker to make a kite. The kite is better built also, I think. This glue is quite good. I've used it in almost every aspect of kite making and have only had one failure, and that was, like I said, my failure, not the glue. And I had previously used weldwood glue, uh, and it never failed either. Uh, so contact type cement really works good with bonding the carbon fiber to the polyfilm or to any fabric for that matter. It doesn't have to be polyfilm. Uh, could be Icarex, could be any ripstop, it could be any fabric, could be Tyvek, could be paper, any number of materials for the sail